Okay, everyone, welcome back. We are up to lesson 23 of Learning Russian with Learn Russian, and you can see this one is about possessive pronouns for masculine and neuter nouns. So the tagline here says, "Мои соседи странные люди." My neighbors are strange people. Perhaps we'll see more about that later in this lesson. Let's go ahead and bring the lesson up. So I think this lesson is actually fairly straightforward. If you already went through the last lesson, then you should be already fairly familiar with the 6 cases and how they act in regard to masculine and neuter nouns. This lesson is really, as the title says, it's all about possessive pronouns. So there are basically 7 types of possessive pronouns in Russian. You can see here at the top, it says я, ты, он, она, мы, вы, and они. So the possessive pronouns for these are my, your, his, her, our, your, and their. Your occurs twice in the English translation because, of course, in Russian there's ты and вы, but in English there's just you. So in English, obviously, those would combine into you. But in Russian, there's ты and вы, and then они is for they or them or theirs. So I honestly think this lesson is quite a bit easier than the previous one because the problem in the previous lesson was specific sort of weird nouns that break the usual form. Even if you know the basic forms of adjective and noun transformations, the thing is there are so many weird sort of words in Russian which kind of break the usual form. There are adjectives which don't quite decline the way that a standard adjective does. There are nouns that don't quite change the way typical nouns do in Russian. And you kind of just have to know those special cases. But here, we're really just talking about these 7 words. Again, my, your, his, her, and so on. So those words have fairly standard forms that don't really change much. So, I mean, you can see here, you have those 7 forms shown for all of the 6 cases. So you pretty much, as long as you're just looking at this table, I think it's pretty difficult to really have too much serious trouble with this stuff. So unlike previous lessons where we kind of got stuck in a rut because there would often be one weird word that didn't change the way that you'd expect it to because that word was a special case, I think here it should be pretty smooth sailing. So again, if you got through that last lesson, I think this one should be significantly easier. Maybe I'm wrong. What do I know? But let's try it and see how it works out. So again, we have a dialogue to begin. The dialogue is between 3 women, as you can see. And one of them appears to be an African Russian, which I guess they did just for diversity, because in real life in Russia, there are very few black people. I'm not saying it's good or bad, just that's how it is. There are not many black people in Russia, as a matter of fact. But anyway, that doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and play the dialogue. And I just want to warn ahead of time, this dialogue is very awkward. I know I've complained about how awkward some of the dialogues are in the past, but this one is really quite cringe-worthy. So let's listen in.
Карина, ну, как у тебя дела с мужем?
С чьим мужем? А, с моим мужем. Все нормально, живем.
А с чьим мужем у тебя еще дела?
Марин, ты что?
Да так. У меня с моим мужем все плохо. Не говорим дома. Он всегда работает. В субботу только с нашим сыном гуляет. Девочки, я думаю, что у моего мужа есть любовница.
Не может быть.
У твоего мужа, у твоего Пети любовница. Ха-ха, Марина, ты меня сейчас прости, но у твоего мужа не может быть любовницы. Он такой некрасивый, а сейчас еще и толстый. И вообще, он неаккуратный.
Неправда. Петя хороший, и он уже месяц на диете. И я купила ему галстук красивый, и еще...
Так, мой муж на диете, говоришь? Ну-ну. Галстук красивый, говоришь? Ну-ну. А твой вообще лысый и не помнит, что такое спорт. Только пиво его интересует, и машина у вас старая.
Неправда, мы вчера новую купили.
Ага, мы! Купили. Это ты с моим мужем машину купила. Мы. Интересное кино.
Девочки, Марина, Ирина, все нормально. Сейчас поговорим, как нормальные люди.
Ага, как нормальные люди.
Вот-вот, как нормальные.
Yes. If you didn't catch all of that, then that's okay. We'll go over it again. But it's basically three women talking about their husbands and how one of them believes that, well, we'll go through it again. Let's just start at the beginning and proceed.
Карина, ну, как у тебя дела с мужем?
So, Karina, well, how is it with how's it going with you with husband? Now, here's an interesting sort of thing that happens in Russian. In Russian, this text at the end, с мужем, that literally means with husband. The implication, I think, if you ask this with anyone, I think in normal Russian, the implication here would be, excuse me, the implication would be, how's it going with your husband? But literally in Russian, the Russian phrasing is literally with husband, not with your husband, but just with husband. So, excuse me, sorry. So this creates some interesting possibilities, as we will see in the next sentence.
С чьим мужем?
See, с чьим мужем? With whose husband?
А, с моим мужем.
С моим мужем. So, with my husband.
Все нормально, живем.
Everything is normal, and then живем is the мы form of live. So, мы живем, we live.
А с чьим мужем у тебя еще дела?
And now Marina says, yeah, here we go. Чем мужем. Let's go ahead and, can I scroll up? Thank you. А с чем мужем у тебя еще дела? And with whose husband are you still, do you still have to deal with? It's kind of a, obviously a confrontational question, but she says something like, because Karina said, with whose husband? So then the next woman says, and with whose husband are you still doing something with?
Марин, ты что?
Marina, ты что? Literally, what are you? Like, what are you saying?
Да так, у меня с моим мужем все плохо.
Okay, у меня с моим мужем все плохо. With me, with my husband, everything is bad.
Не говорим дома.
We don't talk at home.
Он всегда работает.
He always works.
В субботу только с нашим сыном гуляет.
On Saturday, only with our son talk. So he only talks with our son on Saturdays.
Девочки, я думаю, что у моего мужа есть любовница.
Okay. So, у моего мужа, because it's genitive form. Girls, I think that my husband has a любовница, like a lover or a mistress, I guess you can say, like a lover on the side.
Не может быть.
У твоего мужа?
Не может быть, it's not possible, that can't be. У твоего мужа, at your husband, like genitive form of your husband, so your husband has.
У твоего Пети?
And your, Пети is probably, I guess, an affectionate form of the husband's name, so he's probably Peter or something like that.
Любовница.
Mistress.
Ха-ха, Марина, ты меня сейчас прости, но у твоего мужа не может быть любовницы.
Okay, so haha. Marina, ты мне сейчас прости. Now, excuse me. You, something like you must excuse me now. Но у твоего мужа не может быть любовницы. Your husband cannot have a mistress.
Он такой некрасивый.
He is so not beautiful, not attractive.
А сейчас еще и толстый.
And now also fat.
И вообще, он неаккуратный.
And besides that, he's not accurate. Неаккуратный is like not accurate, but I think here it means something more like he's messy, like he's kind of sloppy, not. So basically, she's saying is the husband's not attractive enough to have a mistress.
Неправда. Петя хороший, и он уже месяц на диете.
Неправда, not true. Петя хороший, Петя is good, и он уже месяц на диете, and he is already since months on a diet.
И я купила ему галстук красивый.
And I bought him a tie that's beautiful, so a necktie.
И еще...
And furthermore...
Так, мой муж на диете, говоришь?
Так, so here she's saying, yeah, мой муж на диете, говоришь. So, my husband is on a diet, you say.
Ну-ну, галстук красивый, говоришь?
A beautiful tie, you say.
Ну-ну.
Well, well.
А твой вообще лысый и не помнит, что такое спорт.
Okay, let's see. А твой вообще лысый, so, and yours is bald, and не помнит, что такое спорт, so doesn't understand what concerns sports.
Только пиво его интересует.
Only beer interests him.
И машина у вас старая.
И машина, and the car that you have is old.
Неправда, мы вчера новую купили.
Ага!
Okay, not true. We yesterday новую купили. We bought a new one yesterday.
Мы купили. Это ты с моим мужем машину купила. Мы. Интересное кино.
Девочки, Марина, Ирина, все нормально. Сейчас поговорим, как нормальные люди.
Ага, как нормальные люди.
Вот-вот, как нормальные.
Yeah, so we fill in the last blank, and that was that. But, so what did they say at the end? We bought. It's you with my husband who bought a car. We. Интересное кино. Literally, interesting cinema. So kind of like, I guess it's kind of like, what a story, like what drama. What a story, Mark. Yeah, it's, interestingly enough, German has a similar expression, ganz großes Kino, like a very, very big cinema. So there's no English equivalent, but it just means something like what drama, what a story. And so then Karina says, girls, Marina, Irina, everything is normal. Now we will talk like normal people. Aha, like normal people. Yes, yes, everything is normal. So, but the theme continues here in exercise 2. Now we have 5 phrases that we need to drag to match the pictures. And I have to admit, it's a little bit difficult here to match them up. I mean, this is continuing the theme of a woman who believes that her her husband has a mistress or a lover, but it's not necessarily always clear what phrases match up with the pictures. But anyway, let's see. So in the first scene, we can see two women talking. I'm talking about the one on the left there. And the one on the right appears to be indicating something very important to the one on the left, or the one in the middle, while the one on the left is listening in. Then here we see the woman's looking at something very unhappily. Here we see two women who appear to be dreaming of the same man, and the woman in the middle has a picture of the same man on her desk. So I assume the one in the middle is the wife of that man, because she's got his picture on her desk, and then the two other women appear to both be dreaming of that man, which is probably a bad scene. Then here we have the woman crying and the other two women trying to console her. And then here we have two women fighting. So let's see what we have here for text. So the first text says, "Думаю, что моего мужа есть любовница." I think that my husband has a lover. And then the second, no, I can't drag over these very well, can I? Yeah, the web browser is being silly and highlights both of them. But then the one on the right that I highlighted says, "Это ты была с моим мужем в театре." It's you who was with my husband in the theater. And then эти женщины мечтают о ее муже. What is that? How should I translate that exactly? Something like these women dream about her husband. So I guess both of these women are dreaming about her husband. Well, that would pass for this, then. That would certainly make sense here, because we have exactly that. Both of these women are dreaming about the woman's husband. So let's just put that here now, since that should be that. Okay, and then this one, well, the one, can I? Okay, here we go. So the one on the left says, "Сейчас я знаю, что у моего мужа есть любовница." Now I know that my husband has a lover. And then finally, "Руки прочь от моего мужа." What's руки прочь? Hold on, let me just, руки is, I think it means hands off my husband. I believe that's what that means. It's like, yeah, keep your hands off my husband. Let me just make sure that that's correct. Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, keep your hands off my husband. So that's probably going to be this one, the one where they're fighting, because she's like saying, yeah, keep your hands off my husband. So that's where they're fighting. And now the question is, so we have three left, where she's saying, I think my husband has a lover. That could be this one. Could be this one. Actually, this is probably where she's talking about the theater. I think she's looking at a theater ticket there. I think that's the deal here. She's looking at a theater ticket in that picture on the left. That's the thing she's looking at. And so that's why she's mentioning the theater. She's accusing the other woman and saying, and yeah, see, the woman on the right is kind of pointing to herself and saying, what, me? Yeah, so this is where she's accusing the woman of being with my husband, with her husband in a theater. Okay. And then here's where she's crying. So the two phrases that are left are, I think that my husband has a lover, and now I know that my husband has a lover. So probably where she's crying would be where she... Oh, no, it's actually backwards. So first she's crying because, yeah, it's you might think that she's crying when she finds out for sure, that when she knows for sure, but actually here they've done it in reverse. So the way that they did this is, when she's crying is when she's suspicious and says, "Думаю," I think. But then when she finds out for sure, when she's really sure of herself, then suddenly instead of crying, she becomes assertive and kind of aggressive about it. So that's actually this one, yeah. That's, once again, not so much an exercise of the language as trying to guess what phrases they wanted to connect with what scenes. But anyway, now we come to this, and I showed this before, but once again, this is basically all that we're doing in this lesson. We're just matching the 7 types of possessive pronouns with the 6 cases. So since these don't change too much, in fact, they don't change at all. I don't think they change. So again, it's pretty easy. You should be able to get everything that you need from this table here. So let's test it out. Let's test out this theory and see if it works. We have actually the lesson's relatively short anyway. But so here we have a table of, or a list of 16 phrases where we need to fill in the correct endings for these pronouns. So let's see. Все говорит только о новом доме. Everybody talks only about new home. And when we're using все to mean everyone, we use the male singular. That's why it says on here. That's a hint that we're using on. So so we have the masculine singular on, and we have o. And what case does o entail? That's the prepositional, because we're talking about something. O something is prepositional. So it's его. You can see in the table here, prepositional on becomes его. That's his. So его. Все говорит только о его новом доме. And now we have она, so female, and it should be, I think it's, actually you can see for она, everything is его, ее, not его, but ее. So that's actually pretty straightforward. So if it's она, then you know it's ее. Ее муж такой красивый. Her husband is so handsome. And then у они. So они is they, and u is genitive. So where is они? Они is at the end here, and они genitive is ich. So we put in у ich. У их ребенка музыкальный талант. Their child has musical talent. Okay, and here we have мы with a s. So s is instrumental, and so instrumental мы becomes nashim. And you also put at the end of the verb, but at the end of the noun, but they've already done that. We don't have to worry about that because this already says directorom, so we don't need to worry about that in this case. If you were writing it out, you would want to know that you put on the end of the noun, but here all you have to put in is nashim. So, nashim. С нашим директором никогда не скучно. So, with our director, never boring or never bored. Не могу жить без something salata. Not possible to live without your salad. You must have pretty good salad there. Okay, so biz invokes which case? That is the genitive. And so it's genitive case, and the pronoun is ты, the familiar second person singular. So it becomes твоего. Твоего. Не могу жить без твоего салата. Дай, пожалуйста, еще. It's not possible to live without your salad. Give, please, more. Okay, and again, we don't... actually, we do. I was going to say we don't even need to look up the case here because this is, again, ты. But, of course, this is a different case now. A где something brat. So this should be the nominal case because the brat is actually the subject of the sentence. Where is the brother? The brother becomes the subject. So this should actually be nominative ты. And if it was a neuter noun, it would be твое. But remember, as the note says here, remember, persons and animate nouns cannot be of neuter gender. So it must be tvoj, tvoj, as you see at the top there. So tvoj, no, not твоё, твой, there we go. Где твой брат? And where is your brother? Он с something мужем в гараже под машиной. So s is then instrumental, so it's твоим. For ты, it becomes твоим. Он с твоим мужем в гараже под машиной. He is with your husband in the garage under the car. От кого Марина пришла вчера вечером? От кого, from whom, Марин пришла, did Marina come вчера вечером, yesterday evening, so last night. Obviously I don't mean come in the sexual sense. I mean, like, whose house did she come home from yesterday night? So от она, and once again, от старого друга, so he is her old friend. So this should be nominative because the old friend is the subject of the sentence. So nominative, она ее. So he is then, ее. От ее старого друга, from her old friend. Oh, actually, no, wait. No, от is actually, it's not saying that if it was saying on, then it would be nominative, but от is probably something different. Wait, what case does от take? Looks like it takes genitive. Yeah, because we see от do takes genitive. Is that correct? Oh, but it's still ее in any case. It's actually ее in any case for она. All the things that are она become ее. So actually we don't need to worry about too much about that. I think this is actually genitive, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be ее, whatever it is in this case. So, okay, that's fine. Okay, moving on. Number 8. Они говорят об знакомом. They talk about знакомом, about acquaintances. So they talk about their acquaintances. So об is once again prepositional. So prepositional for they becomes ich. Об ich знакомом. Okay. Где файлы? Where are the files? Они в something компьютере посмотри. They are in my computer. So this should be then prepositional because we're reporting the location of something. So prepositional, and then it's я because it's my computer. So it's моем. Они в моем компьютере посмотри. They are in my computer. Look. And again, in Russian, when you have a file on your computer, in English you say the files are on my computer. In Russian you say the files are in my computer. So, дорогая, это золотые серьги я купил к something новому платью. So darling, these are the золотые серьги. I believe that's golden earrings. Я купил, I bought к your новому платью. I bought for your new dress. Is that correct? Yeah, I believe that's what he's saying. So it's к and then ты. So к invokes dative, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, the к dative, к preposition is dative. So it's к твоему. К wait, where's he at? There we go. Твоему. So you see, it's pretty straightforward. The only difficult part is memorizing all these personal pronouns, because we have 6 cases and 7 forms of the pronoun. So that's 6 times 7, which I believe is 42. Oh, hey, it's the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. So yeah, we have then 42 things in this table, or 42 cells, if you will, in this table. And so that seems like a lot to remember, and I guess it is, but it's not too bad because a lot of these don't even change with the case. Like you can see, for his and her, everything is его and ее, respectively. And then the rest and there is also always ich. So then you have some changes for мы, вы, and я and ты, but it's not that terribly overwhelming. I think, again, the point is you just kind of have to start using these, and after a while you get used to them. It is a lot to remember, but it's not an insurmountable goal. It's just, it just takes time. But the nice thing is these don't change too much with regard to, I mean, they only change with regard to case and whether it's my or your, his or her, and so on, but it's not, it doesn't really change with the noun or the adjective as the nouns or adjectives do. So sometimes knowing which way to conjugate a noun is, or to transform a noun, is tricky if you don't know how that noun changes, but these are relatively straightforward. So, любимый, эту шубу я купила к your новому галстуку. Darling, I bought this fur coat for your new tie. No, это женская шуба, but it's a female fur coat or a woman's fur coat. Конечно, это моя шуба. Of course, it's my coat. Okay, well, anyway, we actually don't even need to look this up because we have twice in a row we have к ты, so we know it's going to be твоему. Again, you don't even need to look it up because it's not dependent on the noun or the adjective or anything. It's just the case and the whether it's я or ты or whatever, and then you know what it is. So, когда вы были у, so у and вы, I'm pretty sure is у вас. Let's just check that. So genitive вы is, sorry, у вас is when you're saying with you, but in this case it's a, in this case it's a possessive pronoun, so it's ваш его. There we go. Ваш его. Когда вы были у вашего врача последний раз? When were you at your doctor last time? So when was the last time you were at your doctor? Я очень рекомендую поговорить с something нотариусом. So it's so it's instrumental, and then вы. So с вы becomes с вашим. С вашим. Notarius. I very recommend, or I highly recommend, speaking with your notary. Not sure why you'd highly recommend speaking with someone's notary. I mean, the notary is usually just someone who signs or notarizes a signature, not really someone who normally provides advice on things. So I'm not sure what you'd need to speak with the notary about, but okay, fair enough. Вчера я видел Петра с something конкурентом. So s is again instrumental. So instrumental, мы is then нашим. 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 Вчера я видел Петра с нашим конкурентом. Yesterday I saw Peter with our competitor. Интересно, что они делали вместе. Interesting what they did together. Okay. Yeah, so u is genitive, so it's моего. Моего. У моего сына большой музыкальный талант. My son has a great musical talent. Okay, and then genitive for вы is вашего. Actually, we had that here. I'll just copy and paste that from here. У вашего сына есть таланты? And does your son have talent? Нет, но у... okay, so it's the same as here, у моего. Нет, но у моего сына отец миллионер. No, but my son's father is a millionaire. Okay, that sounds like you might be bragging there a bit. And finally, ой, соседка, привет. Oh, neighbor, hello. А кто это вчера приходил к something мужу? So k is again dative, and so dative with ты becomes твоему. And actually, oh, and we see that here as well, so let's copy and paste that from here. К твоему мужу. Oh, neighbor, hello. And who went yesterday to your husband? Это было он мама. Okay, so his mother. So this is definitely nominative because it's saying it is or was his mother. So the mother is the subject. So it's simply его. Это было его мама. It was his mother. Да, а я думала, что это something сестра. Yes, and I thought that it was his sister. Once again, this should be just его because, again, the sister is the subject of the sentence. So there we go. Pretty straightforward. That wasn't too bad, was it? Again, it's nice when things don't change. What really gets difficult is when things keep changing up on you, but when everything's the same, it's kind of easy. All you have to do is just look it up in the table. Then the tough part is just memorizing the table. Okay, now we have a letter which was written by someone anonymous. Here at the bottom it says anonym. So what does the letter have to say? Well, let's listen and fill it in.
Дорогая полиция, я пишу вам первый раз. Мне 76 лет и я пенсионер. Но я все вижу и слышу. В моем доме не все в порядке. Я живу на первом этаже. У меня очень опасные соседи. Мой сосед справа не спит ночью. Каждую ночь у моего соседа гости, и они говорят всю ночь. О чем говорят его гости, я не слышу, но думаю, они опасные люди. Мой сосед слева тоже ненормальный человек. Вчера днем я видел, как он купил в магазине щит и меч. Вы не думайте, я не специально смотрел за этим соседом. А еще он всегда ходит с большим рюкзаком. Что в рюкзаке? Может быть, оружие? Мой сосед на втором этаже очень много читает. Каждый раз, когда я вижу моего соседа, он идет с книгой или журналом. Но я не знаю, что он читает, потому что на его книге всегда газета. Это тоже странно. Моя соседка на пятом этаже тоже странная женщина. Каждый вечер она приезжает домой на новом автомобиле. Она еще очень молодая. Откуда у нее деньги? Я очень хочу узнать, какая у нее профессия. Дорогая полиция, очень прошу вас, внимательно смотрите за моими соседями. Я думаю, что это бандиты. Аноним.
Okay, I have to admit, if I didn't have the text here in front of me, I probably wouldn't have understood most of that. He obviously has a very, very strange way of, well, not a strange way of talking, but he speaks kind of in a very strained voice, doesn't really seem to have a normal, well, he's supposed to be 76 years old, he says here, мне 76 лет. What is 76? Well, hold on, let's play it through and we'll hear again.
Дорогая полиция,
Dear police, you can tell these lessons must be relatively recent because it was only a few years ago that Russia actually changed the name of the police to politia. It used to be militia, because, like militia, which is a name that was carried over from the Soviet Union, and it was really only, I think, around, the year 2012, something 2011 or I think it was 2011 or something like that they changed the name from militia to politia. So this is relatively recent that these lessons were made. Anyway, dear police,
я пишу вам первый раз.
I write to you for the first time.
Мне 76 лет и я пенсионер.
70, so 70 is 70 and then 6 is 6. So мне 76 лет и я пенсионер. I'm 76 years old and I'm a pensioner. Pensioner is the same in Russian as in English, pretty much.
Но я все вижу и слышу.
But I everything see and hear. I hear and see everything.
В моем доме не все в порядке.
In my house, Все в порядке is like everything is in order, everything's okay. So he says не все в порядке, not everything is okay.
Я живу на первом этаже.
I live on the первом этаже, on the first floor.
У меня очень опасные соседи.
У меня I have very опасные соседи, dangerous neighbors.
Мой сосед справа не спит ночью.
My neighbor to the right не спит ночью. Doesn't sleep. My neighbor to the right doesn't sleep at night. Hey, that rhymes in English.
Каждую ночь у моего соседа гости, и они говорят всю ночь.
Every night at our my neighbor has gosти, guests. Они говорят всю ночь. They speak the entire night.
О чем говорят его гости, я не слышу. Но думаю, они опасные люди.
Okay. О чем говорят его гости? So about what his guests speak, я не слышу. I do not hear. Но думаю, что они опасные люди. But I think they are dangerous people.
Мой сосед слева тоже ненормальный человек.
My neighbor to the left is also not a normal person.
Вчера днем я видел, как он купил в магазине щит и меч.
Yesterday, днем, so during the day, я видел, I saw, как он купил в магазине щит и меч. I saw how he bought, not shit, but a shield and a sword in the store. Okay, that does sound suspicious. I mean, having guests over at night it seems like a thing that many people do, but buying a shield and a sword in a store might not be that normal. Although, why is there a store selling shields and swords in Russia anyway? Okay.
Вы не думаете, я не специально смотрел за этим соседом.
Вы не думаете, do not think, я не специально смотрел на этим соседом. Do not think that I especially looked at this neighbor, so don't think that I was especially keeping him under surveillance.
А еще он всегда ходит с большим рюкзаком.
But still he always ходит с большим рюкзаком. But still, he always walks with a big backpack. Like in English, sometimes you say rucksack, which is actually I think comes from German. In Russian, you say rюкзак for a rucksack, backpack.
Что в рюкзаке?
What is in the rucksack or backpack?
Может быть, оружие?
Maybe weapons.
Мой сосед на втором этаже очень много читает.
My neighbor on the втором этаже, on the second floor, very much reads.
Каждый раз, когда я вижу моего соседа, он идет с книгой или журналом.
Every time when I see my neighbor, he идет с книгой. He is walking with a book или с journalum or with a journal. Well, come on, man, that's not that suspicious. Maybe some people like to read.
Но я не знаю, что он читает, потому что на его книге всегда газета. Это...
But I don't know what he reads because что на его книге всегда газета, because on his book is always a newspaper.
Это тоже странно.
It's also strange. But I don't think that walking around with books and newspapers is strange.
Моя соседка на пятом этаже тоже странная женщина.
Okay. My neighbor, соседка, because it's a woman, на пятом этаже, on the fifth floor, is also a strange woman.
Каждый вечер она приезжает домой на новом автомобиле.
Okay, whoa. Every evening she приезжает домой. She like drives home на новом на новом автомобиле. So she drives home in a new car. So every evening she drives home in a new car.
Она еще очень молодая.
She is still very young.
Откуда у нее деньги?
Where does she get money?
Я очень хочу узнать, какая у нее профессия.
I very much want to know какая у нее профессия. I'd very much like to know what is her profession. Maybe you should develop the profession of minding your own business, sir. Okay, finally.
Дорогая полиция, очень прошу вас, внимательно смотрите за моими соседями. Я думаю, что это бандиты. Аноним.
So, dear police, очень прошу вас, I very much ask you, внимательно смотрите за моими соседями, to attentively look at my neighbors. Я думаю, что это бандиты. I think they are bandits. Signed, Anonymous. All right. Well, that was pretty straightforward. And now here, what do we have here? Here we have an answer from the police to the previous text. So the police wrote back.
Уважаемый Аноним Иванович.
Dear Anonymous Ivanovich. Apparently they knew who was writing, even though he signed his letter anonymous. Уважаемый is like esteemed or honored. It's often used in formal contexts. You hear this in the metro. If you go to, if you ride the metro in Russia, the subway, like the underground subway system, very often announcement starts with уважаемый пассажир, honored passengers. Anyway.
Спасибо большое, что вы такой внимательный человек.
Thank you very much that you are such an attentive person.
Но хотим успокоить вас.
But we want to reassure you.
В вашем доме нет бандитов.
In your house are no bandits. Here we go. Нет бандитов.
Ваши соседи – нормальные люди.
Your neighbors are normal people.
Ваш сосед справа не спит ночью, потому что он астроном.
Your neighbor to the right does not sleep at night because he is astronom. He is an astronomer.
И его друзья – это его коллеги.
And his friends, they are his colleagues.
Они вместе смотрят в телескоп на звезды и говорят об астрономии.
They вместе together. They together look in the telescope. They look in the telescope на звезды и говорят об астрономии. So they look through the telescope together and talk about astronomy.
У вашего соседа слева есть необычное хобби.
Your neighbor to the left has an unusual hobby.
Он исторический реконструктор.
He is a historical reconstructor.
А щит и меч он купил для исторического клуба.
And the shield and sword, which he bought, are for the historical club. So one of those, in English what do they call them? These society of anachronisms or something like that. People who actually dress up in medieval costumes and stage medieval fights in parks and things like that. I've seen those.
Ваш сосед на втором этаже – аспирант.
Your neighbor on the second floor is an aspirant. Obviously, this translates as something like aspirant in English, somebody who aspires, but I believe this word means in Russian a graduate student, like somebody who is engaged in studies beyond the bachelor degree level.
Он много читает, потому что через месяц у него будет экзамен.
He reads a lot because in a month у него будет, he will have examen, an examination, an exam, a test. I think really somebody reading a lot is not suspicious in any case. I think if that's suspicious, then I must be a pretty suspicious person.
Ваша соседка на 5-м этаже – водитель.
Your female neighbor on the 5th floor is a водитель, a driver.
Она тестирует новые машины.
She tests new cars.
И это не ее автомобили, а ее фирмы.
And these are not her cars, but those of her company. Notice here, firme is once again in genitive because the firm is the owner of the cars. And so this sentence basically means those of her firm. But because firm is in genitive, you can tell it means that firm is the owner of the object in question.
А еще мы купили вам новые очки и слуховой аппарат.
And still, we bought you a new очки, new glasses, и слуховой аппарат, and a hearing aid.
Думаем, сейчас вы будете спокойно спать, уважаемый Аноним Иванович. Ваша полиция.
We think now you will peacefully sleep, dear Anonymous Ivanovich. Your police. Signed, your police. So there you go. That was the resolution of the whole thing. I mean, people staying up all night is not that suspicious anyway. It can be annoying if they make a lot of noise, but in itself is not suspicious. The guy with the shield and sword, I mean, that's kind of weird, but probably not as weird, probably not any more weird at least than stores selling them. I mean, I've never seen a store selling shields and swords in Russia, but what do I know? Actually, I don't think I've ever even seen them anywhere in any country. And then, yeah, reading a lot is certainly not suspicious. And then coming home with a new car every night, that could be suspicious, but still, I mean, it's not really his business. Okay, and finally, we have a short test. So here we go. Let's go ahead. We have only 5 questions. That should be pretty straightforward, right? So the first question says, Anonym Ivanovich, so Anonymous Ivanovich, очень внимательный человек. He very much pays attention to people because, the options are, он не работает, он пенсионер, he doesn't work, he's a pensioner, a retiree. Second option, он работает, он полковник KGB, he works as a agent of the KGB, which I don't think it's not the KGB anymore, is it? Didn't they change the name to FSB or FCB or whatever it's called now? I don't know. У него есть очки и слуховой аппарат. He has glasses and a hearing aid. Well, no, the reason he gave was because he doesn't work, he's a retiree, and so classical sort of situation where the retiree has lots of time on his hands to keep an eye on the neighbors and develop suspicions about them. Его сосед справа не спит ночью, потому что... So his neighbor to the right does not sleep at night because он астроном, he's an astronomer, он астронавт, he's an astronaut, or он аспирант, he is a graduate student. Well, as we know, the answer is he's an astronomer, он астроном. Его сосед слева купил щит и меч. His neighbor to the left buys a shield and sword. Для работы, for work. Для дома, for home. Для клуба, for club. Obviously for his historical reenactment club. Его сосед на 2-м этаже читает много, потому что his neighbor on the 2nd floor reads a lot because через месяц будет отдых, because in a month will be отдых. What's отдых? Hold on, let's quickly check. What is отдых? Oh, like a vacation, I guess, or a relaxation. Okay, so in a month we'll have relaxation. No, not that. Через месяц будет экзамен. In a month we'll have examination. Or месяц назад будут экзамен. A month ago there was an examination. Well, obviously it's in a month there'll be an exam. He doesn't need to read a lot for an exam that happened in the past. And finally, соседка на пятом этаже каждый день на новом автомобиле, потому что. The neighbor on the 5th floor every day in a new car is in a new car because она таксист, she's I guess a taxi driver. Она шофер, she's a chauffeur. Or она водитель, she's a driver. Well, we know she's a driver. So there you go. And that was it. That was lesson 23, all done. So as I said, this lesson was, I think, markedly easier than the previous one because we got everything done with this table and we didn't have to worry about specific nouns. We didn't have to worry about any kind of funky, unusual nouns or adjectives complicating things with not standard forms. So everything here was really standard, really straightforward. We got all the answers out of this table very easily. So again, for these kinds of possessive pronouns, this table should serve you well. It's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And again, with 42 elements in the table, it is a bit to remember, and actually it might be a bit more than 42 because these are masculine and neuter things put together, and you can see some of these have different forms for masculine and neuter. So you might say it's actually 2 times 42, so it's actually 84 things to memorize, but still, 84 things is not that many. When you consider how many minutes you've already lived in your life, it's probably a lot more than 84, so 84 is not really that big a number in the grand scheme of things. So anyway, this has been lesson 23, possessive pronouns in masculine and for masculine neuter nouns in all cases. Next time, the next lesson, number 24, is basically a repetition of what we did for the last 2 lessons, except now for feminine nouns. And the reason they did this is because feminine nouns can have a few more forms. There are feminine nouns that end in a, there are feminine nouns that end in ya, and so on, so they put feminine nouns by themselves. So we've done nouns and adjectives in all cases for masculine and neuter nouns. We've now done possessive pronouns in all cases for masculine and neuter nouns. Now up ahead we have 2 very similar lessons, except they are just for feminine nouns. So should be pretty straightforward, should be more of what we've seen just for feminine nouns instead. I hope that it should be pretty reasonably doable for all of us. So until then, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for continuing to learn Russian with Learn Russian. We will see you next time for feminine nouns in all cases. Until then, до свидания.